Well, good morning. And I say good morning because it's like, move my camera back a little bit. I want to say it's something like 8:30. 8:30 in the morning, sometime around that time frame. Now, yes, I know. Y'all can be sitting there like, what the hell happened to all that facial hair? Well, I got a wild hair at my ass the other day, and I just cut all the shit off, and I was like, hell with it. It's hair. It'll grow back. You know, I've been shaving since half my damn age. I don't know. Well, actually longer than half my damn age, because according to the time of day, or days, in about 7 months, I'll be 50 years old. So, at 50 years old, half my age would be like 25, and I was shaving way before 25. But anyway, let's just say half my age, without getting all technical and everything else. Now, yesterday I made a great video. It was about 30-35 minutes long. It's too long for me. And I was just like, you know what? There we go. So I deleted it. So I figured, what the hell? The crickets are out here chirping. Yeah, there's traffic because people are going to work and everything else. So, you know, it's nice and calm, it's still, like I said, all the crickets are out there chirping with some frogs, and, you know, what more could you ask for? You know, it's a great morning, and it is what it is. Now, I did retrieve an item about 3 weeks ago, somewhere on there. Now, the item that I retrieved, I've taken pictures of it, I've put it in videos, and I always delete it because I'm like, I really don't want it to be known. I do, but I don't. I'm on the fence with it. And, I don't know, I mean, I want to share it with you all, but at the same time, it's not that I'm scared. It's that some things are just better not said or shown. So, eventually, I will drop certain hints or show certain items, or, you know, do something to insinuate on what I have, or what I have set up. There's a hint right there. But anyway, it is what it is. I've been picking elderberries, I've been picking my grapes, I've been looking at my turnips that are coming up, and I think turnips, truthfully and honestly, is the only fall plant that I have planted for the fall or winter months of this year. And the turnips that I did plant are the purple head turnips, and people are like, how in the hell would you plant turnips? Why wouldn't you plant this or this or this? I'm like, because I love turnips. And turnips around here are so hard to find freshly grown that it's not even crazy. Now, when I say this, some of y'all are going to be like, what the hell? But a long time ago, HCDC, which is Hardin County Detention Center, or the Hardin County Jail, used to grow a ton of turnips. And the prisoners basically had a big old farm slash garden that they grew a lot of the food that the jail used to feed its inmates. And they had, I'm not for sure if they still do it or not. I don't know. I'll have to ask a buddy of mine named Big Josh. He's the county jailer. He used to be a deputy sheriff, and before he was a deputy sheriff, he worked on different places. And his first initial job was a cart pusher at Walmart. So just because you're at the bottom level working for Walmart, being a cart pusher, you know, and which he is now the county jailer. So, you know, just because you have a menial job to begin with starting out in life doesn't mean you cannot and will not have a higher power of a job later down the road. Only if you apply yourself and push yourself. Now, I got sidetracked there talking about Big Josh. But the Hardin County Jail a long time ago used to have this big ass garden, and they grew shit tons of turnips. And then probably about this time of year, give or take, they'd have a great big ass huge like hay wagon parked at the very entrance of the jail. And on that hay wagon would be a mound of turnips. I'm talking a mound, ranging from yay big around to yay big around. And those were the ones that basically, I guess they had so many turnips coming out of the ears, they just had to get rid of them. So they put them out there on the trailer, and they had a big ass sign that says, "Take what you want." And I can remember going by there occasionally and grabbing a few of them from my grandmother when she was still alive. When I say a few of them, probably about a half a bushel of turnips, and maybe even a bushel at sometimes, because she picks them for me a lot of times. And I love turnips. Oh, I love turnips. Now, a lot of people around here, well, a lot of the elder people around here grew up eating turnips all the time. Now, when my grandparents were alive, they ate turnips almost every meal for dinner. And I think that's part of the reason why I like it so much. But over the course of years, nobody around here really grows turnips. I don't know why. Even when you go to the farmer's market, nobody really has turnips. And it's very damn shocking, because this is still kind of a country not rural, but a country kind of setting, township or county, but nobody grows turnips. Now, they do have a food plot that you can put out in August, well, around August-ish, for like September, October, to grow turnips for a food plot. And if you don't know what a food plot is, it's what people do around here. They take like a 15 by 20 or a quarter to half acre food plot, and they grow it for deer. So that way, about this time of year when bow season's in season, which soon's gonna be muzzleloader, then it's gonna be modern gun, or I think it's bow, black powder, bow, modern gun, and it just keep repeating it all up until the same thing till it ends on, I think, bow or muzzleloader in January. Like I said, they make these big ass feed plots with turnips and alfalfa, and there's something else they have in there, kind of mixed amongst everything. But that's the only time people grow turnips, truthfully. For the deer, so that way when the deer come in to eat it, they can shoot them. Now, in Kentucky, baiting any game animal is illegal. But what's the difference between pouring a pile of corn out on the ground with some sweet pea mix versus having a food plot? It's the same thing. The only difference is one is actually growing in the ground, and the other is a pile of stuff on the ground with a sweetener and salt and everything else to attract them into this pile of food that sits on the ground to shoot them. Some of this is illegal, except for the food plot. That's not illegal yet, which I don't think it will be, but you know, who knows. That's like the other day was at Roll King, and my youngest is with us, and there's this great big tower kind of looking thing, and he's like, it's only 430 or 480 bucks, something like that. And my wife was like, what is? And he said, that big old deer stand. And she was like, nobody knew deer stand, nobody in here hunts. Now, in the first initial part of our marriage, I had ample amounts of times I could have gone deer hunting. But I was Mr. Mom, and the wife works. So when I had a chance to go deer hunting, unless I wanted to drag the kids in the woods with me, which wasn't going to happen, I would have to find somebody else to watch them so I could go deer hunting. But instead, I sat at home and I took care of my kids. But I still want a deer stand. I still do. I really do. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, I still want a deer stand. But I'll probably never get one till I move from here out to the property in Breckenridge County. And the way that's going, hell, I'll be 80 years old by the time I move over there, because everybody's still dragging their feet, you know, putting their thumbs in their ass. Well, I don't know if we're going to do anything or not. So, yeah. It's kind of disheartening that, you know, the farm has been up for grabs for the past 10 plus years almost. And nobody's willing to do anything because nobody wants to divide anything up. But if I was to drive out there right now and go kick some rocks across the farm, 3 of the people that own the farm would get mad because I'm out there doing whatever. But since nobody wants to divide the farm up, nobody knows what section is whose or anything else. So, but yeah, that's why I'm like, you know, it is what it is. I don't care. Because here soon, truth be told, I might take a weekend off and go out there again to see if I can find any roots out there. Because the last time my great-grandfather dug any roots out there was in 1968, and he died in 1972. I was born in 1973. There's a bunch of hummingbirds out here. Flying around my head. I was hoping he kind of come down in camera view, but he didn't. Oh well. There's 2 of them out here, little green and blue hummingbirds. That's why I kept doing this one before, because I was watching as he was watching me. But I'm sitting here, as I'm talking to you all, looking at my apple tree over here, because, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. At least 30 plus apples on my apple tree. And they're about that big around. A little bit bigger A little bit bigger than a golf ball, not as big as a baseball. But they're the old-fashioned cooking apple. And that is the kind of tree that I wanted some years ago, because a long time ago when I was a little bitty little shit ass living in Louisville, there was an old lady named Mrs. Campbell, and she lived by herself. She was a widow, and one of her sons was killed in Korea and the other son was killed in Vietnam, and she lived by herself. And in the back of her yard, up against our yard, she had an old-fashioned green apple. And of course she'd pick them all the time, and she'd make fried apples with it, and we'd get some and we make fried apples. And sometimes she'd make a great big thing of fried apples and let them put in the refrigerator, and then she'd make like a pie for them and make fried apple pies. And that was like our Sunday treat this time of year from her, is she'd make us fried apple pies. And that's just something part of my childhood that stuck with me, along with the reason why I garden and the reason why I have grapes. Now the grape thing's a different situation. On the farm, my great-grandmother had a section of grapevines. That thing probably spun about 30 to 60 foot long, and not early, but late August, early September, sometime in that ballpark frame, we would go out there and we'd pick grapes off the grapevine as a kid. And even up in my early to mid teenage years, we did the same thing. And to me, now I mean technically I live in the county. I'm not in rural Kentucky. I'm in a kind of like an urban / country type setting. But with that being said, I don't consider any place a country home unless you have a grapevine. Now, I don't care if you got green grapes, I don't care if you got Concord grapes, I don't care if you got red wine grapes, green wine, or white wine grapes. As long as you have a grapevine in your yard, to me, living in the county, you are a country style home. And that's why I got grapes some years ago. And that's also why I planted more grapes back over here on the other side of the house, where they get a lot of morning sun that comes in, and you know, they can work their magic and grow. Now, I grow a garden because even when I was a kid living in Louisville, we grew a garden every year. Mainly because during that part of the 1970s, money was tight, and you did everything you could to stretch your food budget. Now, you might have got sick of eating the same thing all the time, but at least in the colder months, you know, you had a taste of summer because you grew a bunch of stuff. Now, surprisingly, growing up as a kid, I had every dinner, and I mean every dinner, I had squash, green beans, and peas for every dinner. Now, squash to this day is forbidden in my house. No squash whatsoever. Now, I might fix it a small batch for somebody else to eat, but you will not find in my house squash of any kind on a dinner plate. It will not happen, and it will not take place. Now, if I pick squash for like my uncle that comes in from Alabama, that's a different story. That's for him. But for us, squash is out there. It's not even talked about. It's not even thought about. It does not exist. But surprisingly, after eating so many green beans and so many things of peas, I still enjoy eating green beans and peas. Now, when I was growing up, my green beans consisted of green beans, onions, and bacon grease. Not a lot, but just a little bit of bacon grease to give it some flavor. And, oh yeah, there was also vinegar in my green beans as well. So, there's those green beans, onions, bacon grease, and vinegar. And, that's, I mean, you can pick straight green beans, just put a little bit of salt on it, and, I'm tickled pink. But you put onions and green beans, and you put some bacon grease in green beans, and a little bit of vinegar in green beans, I will tear that shit up like crazy. Hell, I'll eat that just alone for dinner. I would eat nothing else. But, that's why I garden, and plus, because that's like probably about the first 3 years of living here, I didn't have a garden. And, I didn't think about it. And then about, I don't know, 2014, I had Adam come over here and break where my pool sits at now, and part of my porch was my garden area. And I did it like that for 2 or 3 years. And that's when raised beds started to become a fad. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try raised beds. And ever since then, I've been doing raised beds. And I think, in my opinion, they're a lot better than breaking the ground and doing all that, other rigmarole and making mounds and everything else. But that's just me. Would I ever go back to plowing the ground with a tiller to put a garden in? Possibly, but it wouldn't be for garden vegetables. It'd be for something else. That's just me. Now, I do know that I've been yamming it on and jaw jamming and everything else, and I need to shut my ass up, take my ass inside, finish watching the morning news, and drink me a cup of milk, and I might take me a small nap. I might stay awake. Hell, who knows? I've only had like 3.5 hours sleep today so far. I went to bed late. I was laying in bed till probably about 4 in the morning. And I fell asleep somewhere between 4 o'clock and whatever time this morning. And then the alarm went off at 7. And from 4 o'clock till 7 o'clock, that's all the sleep I've had. I've been up since. I know I'm going to drag ass later this afternoon. I already know I am. But it's okay. Because I'm sitting here looking at my apple tree. I'm just looking at all these apples out there that's ready to be picked almost. And I keep thinking to myself, apple butter is right around the corner. And matter of fact, when I get off the phone, probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'm going to call my mom and talk to her for a little bit. The reason I'm going to call my mom is because she knows when all these apple orchards are starting to do all their things. And I'm going to see about if I can get me a couple bags of Coles. And Coles is like the apple rejects. And I get them every year, and I make a ton of apple butter. And the reason I make a ton of apple butter is because I give a lot of it away to my friends. I give a lot of it to my family. And then I also take a good portion of it to the market. And I mean, I might keep like a jar to 2 jars of it. I used to be big in apple butter. I used to love apple butter. I mean, I still do, don't get me wrong, but a long time ago, shoot, I'd fix like 2 to 6 sandwiches a day of apple butter, peanut butter and apple butter. And I'd eat like 2 to 6 sandwiches a day of it. Of course, now being diabetic, it might be like two to 3 sandwiches a week, but I still enjoy it. I just can't eat it as much. Plus, there's a lot of sugar in it too, and that's another reason why I try to stay away from it. As much as I love it, I have to stay away from a good portion of it. But there's just so many things that, now today it's gonna be a little muggy-ish, slightly below the muggy, the humid level. It might be a teeny bit humid, but it's supposed to be like below the margin. Tomorrow it's supposed to be like rock bottom. There's not going to be, it's going to be warm a little bit, but that's about it. And I know today and tomorrow we are going to transform my side yard that I've been putting off because it's been so muggy and humid and everything else. When the kids are out of school, that's what we're going to be doing. And there's a lot of crap we got to pick up because in about this time next month, they're going to be on fall break. And I plan on having a shindig of some kind, and hopefully the wife isn't working that weekend or whatever, because she works every other weekend. Like this weekend coming up, she gets paid Thursday, goes in the bank Friday, and since this is a paid week, she works on the weekends only for a couple hours, and but like every other weekend she works it. So hopefully on fall break I might take a weekend off from the market altogether, depending how it falls for her, and we'll have a shindig. And that means I'll have Adam over here with all his kids, and I'll have Junkie over here, if possible, with him and his wife and kid, and maybe a couple other people, not very many, but enough to have a good little gathering, but nothing too severe to where, we're not like, we are usually in the 4th of July where there's, umpteen people here that are sitting around and shooting things off, stuff like that. I have got some fireworks left over from the 4th. And what I'm going to do is I've been saving them because I figure in January on New Year's Eve we'll shoot them off, make a bunch of noise, and make a few of the neighbors upset, but what you're supposed to do. But it is what it is. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to get off here, and like I said in the very beginning of the video, I got something I've been dying to show you all, but at the same time I don't want it to be really known what I have. So I gotta figure out how I can do something. Dang dumb mosquito here buzzing my ears. So I gotta figure out how to do something to show you, because I'm dying to tell you all about it. I am. It's like holding a secret. There's only so long you can hold a secret till you're about to burst. I've been wanting to burst about this for 2 to 3 weeks. But at the same time, I gotta watch my P's and Q's. So it's one of those, how do I do this without getting myself in trouble? So it is what it is. So y'all have a great morning, and there's plenty of time left through the day. I might make a second video, or I might make a second video. You never know. But until then, have a great day. Do what you got to do, and hopefully in maybe the next few hours you might see me again, or sometime between now and Saturday you'll see me again, but sometime in that time frame. But until then, have a great day. God bless, and keep your nose dry and your powder clean, and everything will go nice and smooth.